Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, what's going on there? Happy Tuesday to you. BJ Rains with you, Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com. Joined, as always, on Tuesdays by Jay Tust, director over at KTVB. Jay, appreciate it, man, on your off day from the, I guess I should say the off day, as we all know how that goes, from KTVB joining us this morning. How's it going, man?
It's going good. Yeah. It's crazy to think, it's funny, BJ. I was thinking yesterday, I was like, man, over halfway through the season, 7 games down, 5 to go. And then I was like, oh, wait, bowl game. Then win this game. I was like, oh, wait. This point in time, a Mountain West Championship game seems likely. So we're actually back to exactly halfway. 7 down, 7 to go.
I think Boise State fans would love for this to be end up being the exact midway point of the season to have a championship game, and that's looking potentially possible at this point. You got Karen Rains, the first to chime in this morning. Good morning. She's working her 6th 12-hour shift in a row today down at the hospital. So 6 in a row. She's making some money, but helping a lot of people out. So love you, hon, and appreciate you for sneaking a few minutes on to watch.
What an all-star.
Yeah, 12 hours. I thought it was, some of our stuff's tough, but 6 12-hour shifts in a row. My hat tip to my wife and my parents that are watching my kids. That means 6 full days of them having to watch my kids all day. So appreciate them. Kurt says, good morning. Perry says, love seeing Golly Guy in the intro. Yes. Yeah, we're actually working on the intro. We'll have a better intro to come. We had to go back to the old one for a little bit. But, yeah, you mentioned this being the halfway point, Jay, and here we are, 5-2 for the Broncos, 4-0 in Mountain West play. And I want to talk Jonah Dalmas today. I want to talk about this dominant defense today. And you look at the stats, man. I don't know if we've had a lopsided game all year going into this one on Saturday, as at least on paper. I mean, this really I think you at one point predicted, maybe I think it was you, that you weren't sure Colorado State would score against Boise State. And I don't know if I can go that far, because if you get a fluke turnover or a fluke, one explosive play, you get a field goal or a touchdown or something. But I'm not sure they get more than, 10, 14 points in this game. And, if there was ever a game where you look at it, and again, I not trying to provide wagering advice for people, but 25 points seems like a lot, but man, this Colorado State team, I don't see them coming in here and scoring very much. This is a very intriguing game, but at least on paper, one of the bigger mismatches of the season.
Yeah, one of the bigger I'd say that Colorado State has been a disappointment so far. They brought in Jay Norvell. I think they had higher expectations than this, and they've dealt with some injuries, and they have started to kind of figure things out a little bit. Like a month ago, they were god-awful. The last couple of weeks, they have kind of found a way to manage a game, I guess, like that. And one thing that they're doing is they're kind of copying a little bit of – I'm not going to say they're copying Boise State style. Both of them are copying somebody else's style at this point, but kind of trying to shrink a game. I go back to that what Leon Rice did with his basketball team last year in those brick fights. I mean, they're both just kind of trying to run the ball well, reduce possessions, hopefully play good enough on defense, and then at the end of the game, you make a play. I mean, I look at the Colorado State game against Nevada. Colorado State scored 3 offensive points in that game. Those 3 points came with 0 on the play clock. So they went 60 minutes without scoring a single offensive point, and somehow Colorado State won that game. So I'm not too worried about this being a trap game, a dangerous game, whatever. This Colorado State is just not a very good team. Boise State needs to go out and take care of business this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you're not sure the status of George Helani, not sure the status of Ashton Genty, but
that's scary.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, you would think if you have a Colorado State team, as you said, that's not very good and not going to score very much, that Elion Noah, Tyler Crow and company, even Caden Dudley maybe could do it. By the way, someone thinks you should host Sunday Sports Extra looking like this. They don't like the full suit and tie for a sports analyst. You'd probably be okay with that, right?
I would be okay with that, to be honest with you. Sunday nights are, man, you get through the chaos of the weekend, and it's like, oh, yeah, I got to ramp it back up for Sunday night football.
The best part is when Jay's got the shirt and tie on behind the desk, and then he's got the shorts and flip-flops on that you can't see.
Yeah, this time of year, I guarantee that's what you're getting. You just you see business up top. You don't see the party down below.
JT says time for a blowout win. Save the best 2 running backs for BYU.
That'll be interesting, BJ. Like we have no idea the length or exactly what's going on with George Helani or Ashton Genty. And that's just something that the coaches aren't going to provide that information.
Well, I did say yesterday with Johnny, I'm told it's a hamstring injury for Helani and concussion symptoms for Genty. So
well, and I think that I should say it like this: none of that stuff's going to be confirmed by the coaching staff. Sure. Right. So, we talked about it on the pregame show last week that George Helani was either going to be highly limited if he was even going to play at all. Turns out he didn't play at all. You had that
before anybody, man. You were on the George Helani thing before anybody last week.
I just it is what it is, and these injury things are kind of hard to work through because even if you're really certain about them, there are guys that will then go through a pregame walkthrough with their full pads on and kind of that smoke and mirrors approach to it. So you can hope that they're back. I do kind of I wonder, this is a conference game. Boise State wants to win a conference title. To fans, BYU is more important, but to the program, this game is probably more important, right? So
in terms of which one in terms of importance of you have to win.
Yeah.
You'd probably say this one. But yeah. I mean, technically, yes. But in terms of the fact that you don't think it's going to be that hard to beat them, you would say the bigger, more important game is winning the last game in the rivalry against BYU.
I hear you. But one thing that, they have hammered home is that their goal this year is to win a Mountain West championship.
Oh, yeah. If you can only win one, you would unfortunately have to take Saturday.
And so, I don't know. Fans would obviously be I don't know. Would fans take that's a stupid hypothetical. I'm not even going to throw it out there.
Would you take a loss to CSU if it means a win over BYU?
I'm not even going to throw that out there because I think it's just a stupid hypothetical.
They still would win the division if they won the last 3 games. If they beat Wyoming and Utah State and Nevada, they would still win. So you could get the win over BYU and you could get the Mountain West championship.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. We'll see.
Thinking New Year's 6 now, man. They want to go undefeated down the stretch here. There's bigger goals, I think, than that. But
that might be the case. BYU looked awful last week. It's so funny, BJ. Sometimes on Bronco Roundup game day Saturday or whatever, you kind of I'm doing work in the morning, and then maybe the first hour of kickoffs I kind of get to pay attention to, nothing crazy, and then it's from 11 or noon on. It's after the Boise State game, you finally start checking things. Or in the press box, we're like, man, K-State and
I may or may not have gotten back to my hotel at about midnight in the Air Force Academy, and I'm eating some food, which I should not have done at midnight. But I stopped and got on the way home. And as I'm eating it, sitting there at the desk in the hotel, I'm scrolling, and I'm like, oh yeah, I won a pretty nice parlay today that I didn't even know about.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad that worked out for you.
I saw no scores, nothing until midnight, and then I looked at my phone and go, okay.
Well,
pretty good day after all.
Last time I saw BYU was up 14-3. And then again at midnight, you're eating whatever Burger King or whatever because that's all that's open in Colorado Springs. And you pull up the score and you're like, wait, BYU didn't score again? And they lost 41-14. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that game all of a sudden is, it's a big game. It's the last game of the rivalry. They'll probably have the biggest crowd in the stadium history again. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, blackout, I believe. But in terms of the on the field, at one point you're thinking they could come in ranked in the top 10. I think Boise State now is going to be favored in that game, and yeah, it certainly changes things. But
Yeah.
First things first, you do have to take care of business against Colorado State. And
yeah,
you had some of the numbers on Twitter. And before we kind of talk about some different things in this matchup in particular, it's one of the best defenses in the country against one of the worst offenses in the country.
Yeah, I mean that's simply put. It's crazy, BJ. I mean, you're talking about Boise State as a third ranked defense in the country right now when it comes to total yards. They're only giving up 140 a game, and on the flip side of that, Colorado State ranks 127th out of 131 teams, on offense. And so I would be surprised. I'm just saying, man. Are
you calling the shutout? You going to do it?
I'll call it a shutout. Sure.
What kind of odds could you get in Vegas for the team point total if you put it on a shutout?
I would love to know. You got guys over there at Circa. Call them up. Let me know.
Maybe they can create a special line.
Yeah, I'll throw $10 on it or something like that. Like I'm.
Great time for the CSU game. David Gardner says we need to sell this out. Appreciate you for watching, David.
I do know that they definitely got some
4,000 at one point.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Dickey tweeted. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're definitely eager to try to fill this thing up. I got to say though, like the turnout this year has been phenomenal. I know that Jeremiah, again, he wants 6 sellouts. I don't think he's going to stop saying 6 sellouts in 6 games until they actually do it for a season. And they've done it a couple of times this year, but they want to continue that momentum and push this thing over the finish line. And
still got to get people to stop leaving in the second half, though.
Yeah, I mean that's
crowds
true.
Really died down after halftime, and I know the Fresno game was late, but some of these other games have not been that late. You look up third quarter, and it's the students don't come back. Some of the other fans go drink and don't come back.
I do think it's been worse. I do think it's been worse in the past because there's that no reentry rule, so it really is like a conflict for some fans. Like if they leave, they miss the rest of the game, and it used to be like, no, we'll go drink in the parking lot, and then if we want to stumble back in, we'll stumble back in whenever we want. That was what happened a few years ago, but ever since this new staff has been in place, they've kind of changed that, and it's for the betterment of the game experience. I mean, no doubt in my mind. So
and they're
it'll probably
selling,
cost you a little bit more to drink, but
they're selling $10 beers. They don't want you going out and drinking for free and coming back in. Drink, and there is some legal thing too once they sell alcohol where they can't let you back in. I don't know what the details are on that, but it is what it is. Nate Staley says he's flying in from Austin, Texas for this one.
Oh, sweet.
Perry would love to see a shutout. Perry says free tacos for a shutout. Is there some deal with free tacos for a shutout? I don't know if I've seen that yet. Nate Staley also.
Wait, free tacos for everybody or just me? I'm mostly concerned about me in that case.
Derek says 8,000. I don't know the answer to that. It's a good question. We'll have to figure that out. 8,000 fans at half, but it stays just as loud. Makes you think, is what Derek says. Karen Chandler says no reentry. I agree. Betterment for the game. By the way, Morales Brothers, what's the Blue Collar Club food for this tailgate? We may need to stop by again. They have the Blue Collar Club does a great job there, and they've had a different theme every game so far. So I went by and got a taco one game. I think they had some wings one game. So let us know. James says, I don't know about this one, should be free entry after halftime. Don't check any tickets. Don't think you'd get a lot of people coming down if not there already. Chili is the choice this week on the tailgate. So if you want some chili, that's actually a good choice probably. It's going to be a little cool. I haven't seen Saturday's projected temperature. Let's see here. Saturday, high of 58. And by 5 o'clock, you're going to be getting down to the 40s, man. The low Saturday is 37. So it's going to be a little chilly on not terrible, but it's going to be finally a little football weather on Saturday.
It's going to feel like fall.
Ram stew is what they're calling it. It'll be ground beef, according to Derek. So ram stew.
That's why, we talk about stuff like that, BJ, and that's why, in a way, I almost think this defense is going to get better. Like, usually as weather implements a game, they're more low scoring. You lean on your defense a little bit more. Even Spencer Danielson said it yesterday. Like, he still like, believe it or not, as good as his defense has been, he still sees like a couple little areas that they can clean up and be even better. And so if they can do all that, connect the dots against a really, a bad Rams team. The reason why I say this, BJ, is because I just don't think that Colorado State has an offense they can go toe to toe with Boise State's defense for a 10, 12 play drive. And when you consider that Boise State ranks number one in the country in limiting plays of 10 or more yards, and you consider that Colorado State on the flip side of that is one of the least explosive offenses in the country, it will require the Rams to go on, again, a 10, 12 play drive in order to have a scoring opportunity against Boise State. And I don't. Here's the deal. Even if they can do it once or twice, they're not going to be able to do that multiple times in a game. I just don't see it happening. They're more likely to get up into that 8-9 play and throw a pick or turn the ball over than they are to score a touchdown. Just my opinion.
No doubt about it. On paper, and I want to talk on paper of the stats here in just a second, but on paper, it is a one-sided affair for sure. I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors here, Jay. The Blue and Orange Store. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping. Any order over $40. That's right. Just go to theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40. Or you can check them out at the Boise Town Square Mall. All the great coaches' sideline apparel, the Nike stuff, the jerseys, all the NIL shirts. If you want to get Skinner, Matlock, Kalani, those guys, they've got them there. Check them out at the Boise Town Square Mall, second floor at the Blue and Orange Store. Ridley's Family Markets, 13 Idaho locations. I like to go to that Kuna location, easy, quick trip for me. They got the at-home shopping, the Skip app, the home delivery, all that great stuff. Make sure you check out Ridley's Family Markets. United Commercial Insurance, they make business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country, so make sure you check them out. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. They make business insurance easy. A quick call could save you hundreds of dollars on your business insurance. My dentist, Dr. Miner, check him out as well. The BoiseDentistryCo.com. They got locations across the Treasure Valley from Mountain Home to Caldwell and everywhere in between. Love Dr. Miner and his staff. Those are my kids on the screen there. So full family dentistry. Our full family goes there, and we really enjoy it, and they do a great job. So if you're looking for a new dentist for your whole family or just for yourself, check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. Jay, on paper, by the way, let's see here. A couple people asking about the BYU start time. That will not be announced till Sunday. So once or twice a year, the networks are allowed to do what's called a 6-day hold, where there's too many good games, and they don't want to put a game on a channel if the team doesn't win because it's not going to be as good of a game. So once in a while, when they have a lot of kind of key games the week before, they're not ready to make these projections because games could become bigger or not as big based on what happens this weekend. So they implemented which is kind of why like a college game day waits till Sunday to announce where they're going on Saturday. But BYU was one of the games that it looks like the Big 12, the Big 10, Pac-12, a lot of these games were put in the 6-day hold window. It looks like it's going to be either 1:30 or 5 on Fox Sports 1, if I did my math correctly. I guess technically it could be 10 a.m. on either of those. I don't think the Fox game would be that, but there is a 10 a.m. option on FS1. That usually goes to the Big 12, and then there's a 1:30 and a 5, I believe, on Fox Sports 1. So that's what I'm thinking, that it's going to be a little, either a 5 o'clock game or a little earlier, maybe 1:30. But we will find that out on Sunday, Jay.
Okay. I mean,
it's not ideal for fans traveling. It's not ideal for us. I get it, but that is written into the contract that once or twice a year they get to do that.
Luckily for Boise State, it's the BYU game, so they're not going to struggle to sell tickets, because of that. Like, fans are going to go to that game probably regardless of the kickoff time. But for a game like Colorado State, like, that probably put Boise State a little bit behind the 8 ball, and that was even like a 13-day window before knowing when kickoff was. So they even had almost 2 weeks in that still put fans at a little bit of a predicament, not knowing when the game time was going to be. So, it kind of sucks, but they'll figure it out, and it's BYU, so we'll be there, and fans will be there regardless.
Cody says, met Troy Calhoun, couldn't get comment on the handshake with Andy. Sorry, BJ. Come on, Cody. You got no commented by Troy Calhoun? What's up with that? Come on.
Hey, I gotta say though, BJ, there was a little bit of it looked like there's a little bit of a blow up on Twitter because they said people were, I didn't see it. Maybe it was you or somebody else that drew my attention to it on Twitter. And then I was scrolling through Twitter again at midnight at the hotel, and there were a number of people commenting on Troy Calhoun apparently brushing Andy off. It
was something, but it was something minor. I don't think it was a huge deal.
It was not a huge deal. It was. I don't think that either of those guys. Yeah, there's nothing there.
Is the new South end zone screen going to be up by the BYU game? I'm guessing no.
No.
You've yet to even see a pole go up in the ground. I think they're behind schedule on that. Unfortunately, the timing just didn't quite work out. Ideally, this is something, Jay, they'd be installing in April and May. So I think maybe there's a chance for Utah State, the last home game, but I'm guessing this is probably not going to be ready till next season based on my untrained eye of driving by and seeing not much progress.
Yeah.
You might have an official answer.
No, I just think I don't think there is anything official right now, BJ, because I think optimistic they want it for the first home game, and they knew that was a really big reach. But then they're
Jeremiah
hey,
Dickey said that on this show with you and me at Media Days, and that kind of got everybody excited, and that wasn't realistic.
And then they said, hey, maybe that BYU game. But everything is behind. Steel is hard to get. Like, so from my understanding, I actually think, believe it or not, the Potato Bowl might be like when they could have that thing up by.
How about that? You $4 million for a new scoreboard, and then you tease your fans all year, and then it debuts for a bowl game with 6-6 Utah State.
I know,
and,
right? I will say, like, maybe that allows them to work out the kinks, and if it doesn't make it by the Potato Bowl, I don't know who's really going to care. Like, I think that Boise State fans, like, hey, think about it, spring game.
Yep.
There you go.
By the way, Nick says they were at the James, and from the balcony, there appears to be no progress yet. Yeah, haven't seen anything happen yet.
Well,
Nick, appreciate you, by the way, Nick, for going to visit the James. Good spot there.
There's a lot of progress going on below, like
but until you start to see the polls go up, you know that you're not close, and there's no polls going up yet. By the way, you mentioned the James. Winston Venable is going to join me for the pregame show. We'll lead you into the KTVB pregame show. We'll be a little before. I assume you're 4 to 5, Jay.
4 to 5 on Saturday.
Yes, we'll be 3:30 to 4. So we'll have Winston Venable with us over at the James. So if you want to come over, we had some fans last time that got pictures with Winston and hung out with him for a little bit. So if you're coming to the game on Saturday, stop on by the James about 3 o'clock or so, and we'll be live 3:30 to 4 with Winston Venable and myself from the James. And we'll put you on if you have a question or a comment. We got a little fan microphone there for better or worse in terms of ideas. But we'll put you on the post-game show. Be back at the James as well. Kent Riddle will be with me post-game, and we'll get your thoughts and comments on the post-game show as well. So let us know, and hopefully you'll stop by the James, where we'll be hanging out before and after the game on Saturday. You mentioned this defense, Jay, and I'm not to let my competition know what I'm working on here, but I am writing a story just kind of about where does this, how you don't realize it in the time sometimes, but how dominant, how historic, how good is this defense big picture wise, what we're witnessing right now. You go back and look at some of the defenses in 2009 and some of the other years back there, and you look at it and you're like, man, look at all those NFL players they had, and look at how good they were. And you wonder if 5-10 years from now, we're going to be looking back at this defense going, man, they had JL Skinner and Scott Matlock and this. I mean, and so I know you put a lot of the numbers together, and usually a game like Air Force screws your numbers up, at least from the rushing, thing like that. But because they did so good, and now they have a lot of bad offenses and bad teams coming up, I see a lot of these numbers, not changing much or even getting better. I mean, I think these numbers are not just a result of who they've played. I mean, that has been part of it, but I don't think this is something where it's like, oh, they're going to course correct here later in the season. I think a lot of numbers are going to stick, and you've looked at a lot of these, and whether it be the total defense, the rushing, the passing, the explosive plays, the first downs. I mean, you go down the line. What are we seeing here in terms of a historic defense from Boise State?
I think the thing that strikes me about this defense, BJ, is they're putting up all these historic-like numbers, and they're not necessarily generating like a ton of turnovers, right? Like usually when this happens, you get a lot of turnovers and you get great field position and things like that, but they're doing this without necessarily generating a ton of turnovers. And, we talked about this a little bit last week, BJ, that Boise State's defense is really good at getting off the field. They've been on the field almost, in terms of the amount of snaps, the least amount of time as almost anybody in the country. And so that obviously reduces opportunities to get interceptions if you're on the field less and stuff like that. But, man, this has just been a really good, stout defense that is tough to move the ball against, not just on a given day, but on a given drive. And it's going to take like an explosive play, which they haven't a ton of those lately. And they're just really good. At the moment, they're on pace, yards per game allowed wise, to be the second best in school history. And the only time that it was lower was like in 1969. I mean, that's just a very different era and level of football for the Boise State football team, for that matter. So when you asked Spencer Danielson yesterday, how historic is this defense, he's not going to answer, but we can. And right now they are. I should say this. He said he was going to withhold his answer, I think, until the end of the season.
Yep.
But for right now, we can talk about it. And by just about every single metric, they are on pace to do some historic stuff this season.
But they're very quick, is kind of the point of my story is, as good as it's been, yeah, you're not going to have anybody, at least on the coaching staff, resting in their laurels here until the end of the season. Every time they'd praise it, they'd finish up the answer by saying there's still a long ways to go. He got Spencer Danielson saying, quote, "It's not perfect. We have a long way to go. A lot of stuff we have to clean up. A lot of things that pursuit and these guys playing hard is covered up." things that don't show up on the stat
Right.
sheet. All these, so I mean, I get it. That's what a coach is going to say. He's going to go, yeah, we got a damn good defense, and we're just going to sit back and relax. I mean, I get it, but him and Andy Avalos both, and as you said, he said, we'll talk at the end of the season. It does sound like they realize they have the potential for something here, and they want to finish the job.
You know what, BJ? It's October 25th, and I'm going to throw another prediction out there.
Let's go.
Fans are going to be so upset when the postseason All Mountain West awards come out.
They're spreading the wealth on defense, so they're not going to get anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like they will get a few, but you look at a guy like J.L. Skinner, I mean, like he's one of the best safeties in the country. There's like little argument to that. But so oftentimes when it comes down to these all-conference awards, you see people dissecting numbers and who had all these tackles and all this stuff. And right now, I mean, Colorado State's not a good football team. They hype up their safety every single opportunity that they get. I mean, like literally, they do. If that guy does anything, they're like sending out a graphic on Twitter.
Usually the safeties that have the most tackles means their defense wasn't very good.
Right. And so, like, you're going to see a guy like him make first team over J.L. Skinner, and I would bet a lot that JL will have a much better post-collegiate career than that kid. Congrats to him for having a great season, by the way. Like, he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, there's going to be fans that are upset about this because Boise State is so good. I mean, look at Caleb Biggers. Like, he's allowing nothing. And, I mean, like, I guess there was that – who knows, like, who was responsible for that big play last week. But, like, for the most part, that guy's allowing nothing. And because he has, like, no numbers, he's probably not going to be an all Mountain West first teamer or something like that. But
and we both voted on those awards, man. You know how it is. They send you the ballot, and all we do is go look at the tackles and go, oh, that guy's got 120 tackles. You got to take him. And there's not a whole lot of, you'd like to think they'd go, well, you got to have somebody from Boise State on there. They got the best defense in the conference, whatever. But I agree with you. They may split votes a little bit.
They probably will. And on top of that, Boise State has always been very modest about handing out tackle numbers. And that's not a knock. Like, that's like, I feel like I should say honest over modest. Like, there are teams and programs around this Mountain West where you'll see a guy with like 100.
He breathed on him. Half tackle.
You'll see a guy with like 80 assisted tackles, and you're like, that's a lot of assisted tackles, and all of a sudden they finish with 170 tackles. So, yeah. But I think that there's going to be a little bit of an uproar because I think, heck, man, you could probably argue that Boise State's entire defense this year should be the first team Mountain West defense. They've been so good as a unit.
Wouldn't that be something? The press release comes out, it just says Boise State's defense.
I mean, look at Scott Matlock. Like, look at Scott Matlock's numbers. Like, he might not, like, his numbers probably don't suggest he's an all Mountain West guy, but go back and just like watch him in a game and watch what he's doing and how he's affecting plays and stuff like that. Like, there's not like a stat that is getting contributed or attributed to his name, but holy man, like, is he a fun dude to watch if you take a few minutes to watch him play.
Mark says, there'll always be Boise State haters because we've dominated the league for so long. JT Belknap says Skinner more quiet this year because our front seven is dominant.
I mean, it's true, but here's the deal. It's not that his numbers are more quiet. JL's not more quiet. His numbers are more quiet. There's a misperception there. I mean, it was really funny. I think you read me the tweet in the press box. Like, somebody was being critical of JL's play last week. I'm like, good God, man. Like, dude's playing good football right now on a really good defense. Like, just chill.
Now, speaking of, we're talking about the defense here as we kind of get ready to wrap this up, Jay. But the big storyline, I think, going forward is, what Nate says here. Does Danielson get poached this winter? Mark says yes, goodbye to Danielson. I'm thinking too. I mean, this guy could have gone to Auburn with Brian Harsin. I don't think he would have been the coordinator, but he could have gone to Auburn and obviously had a position coach spot there, which would have paid him more money, I think, than what he turned down to stay. But
he would have been paid more as a position coach at Auburn than a defensive coordinator at Boise State.
But he stays and gets some experience now as a DC, gets some stuff on tape, and he literally could be on now in line for a Power 5 DC job for a lot more money. I mean, Andy Avalos was making the 280, 300 here at Boise State, went to Oregon and got like $600,000, $700,000, $900,000. I mean, that's kind of the jump that Spencer Danielson might be ready for. I know he's loyal to Andy Avalos. He likes it here. He's got a good thing rolling, but he's either going to leave or you're going to have to pay more than you've ever paid by a significant margin for coordinators There is no way that you're keeping Spencer Danielson for $300,000 next year.
BJ, this might be a topic for another day, but Boise State's going to have to up the ante of their assistant pool. I mean, whether it be Frank Miley,
not just like the $50,000 that they say that
yes.
It's supposed to happen. Yeah, we're talking $1 million or something big.
Probably Frank Miley, Kane Ione. I mean, these guys are doing work as a defensive staff right now. Andy Avalos is obviously the ringleader on that side too, but they're going to have to do something to keep that staff intact if they want to continue to be dominant in the future. No doubt in my mind. And by the way, you brought up too, like Spencer's been really loyal to Boise State and to Andy Avalos. I mean, Andy left and Spencer stayed, and then Andy came back and Spencer stayed. And so, you saw a guy like Mike Sanford, like what an awesome dude, but he would always kind of jump at that first opportunity, that next great opportunity. And so Spencer's kind of been a little bit different in that he's been very loyal. And so if and when the opportunity comes, I'll have confidence that he knows it's the right opportunity, the right situation, and it'll be good on him for earning that because he showed a lot of loyalty and he's been really good.
James wants him to be like Mark Few and stay. Mark Few got paid. Mark Few got paid.
I gotta say, man, I'm like when Frank Miley got here, we're like, man, that guy sounds like a head coach. I think Kane Ione's going to be a head coach one day, and Spencer Danielson, my goodness, without a doubt in my mind, I think he's going to be a head coach one day.
And Frank Miley had opportunities to go to Washington. They really wanted him to go there. I guess it was last in February, and I know he had serious interest from Washington. And I think even might have turned down more money there too to stay here. So they're staying, but at some point, loyalty and being happy. I mean, at some point you got to take care of your family. And if you're a guy like Spencer Danielson and you can go from 300,000 to 750, I think anybody in their right mind would take that no matter where it is. So we'll see. I wanted to talk Jonah Dalmas. I had some clips. We'll save that for Friday. That'll be a good topic for Friday. We'll hit on Jonah Dalmas on Friday.
I got some stuff on Jonah. I think he might be the offensive MVP over the last 2 years for Boise State. A kicker. MVP.
You're not allowed to use those on KTVB this week. Save them for our show on Friday, and we will discuss on Friday, man. We appreciate you coming on as always, Jay.
Sounds good, bud.
Yep, there he is, Jay Tust. Great job. We appreciate Jay for coming on. The sports director over at KTVB does an outstanding job, and we appreciate Jay for coming on. And I hope you're enjoying Bronco Nation News Live every morning, 9 a.m. here. We got Winston Venable tomorrow. And hearing rumors of a potential big guest for BNN After Dark tomorrow night. So we're got a couple that I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet because it's not official, but a couple big time guests, what I would consider big time guests that we are looking to have. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. Hopefully you subscribe. $70 gets you a whole year at BroncoNationNews.com, and that includes the exclusive access to the BNN After Dark shows with Winston Venable and John Mallory and myself. JD always tunes in for John and Winston. That's great. We appreciate that. Ian Johnson, it is not Ian Johnson, but we are working on him, but it's another famous player maybe from one of the Fiesta Bowls, so we are working on that, and we'll let you know hopefully later today who that's going to be. But again, that's exclusively for subscribers of Bronco Nation News. You can do that it's 8 o'clock tomorrow night, and you can still subscribe. We'll get you in there and get you the link, and you can watch the show. And there's been a lot of blast, and we're really enjoying doing those. They've been a lot of fun so far. So appreciate all of you guys that have subscribed and checked that out. We're over 600 subscribers. We're also almost to 1,600 YouTube subscribers. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please just smash that subscribe button real quick. Smash that like button. We are almost to 1,600 subscribers on YouTube. The YouTube channel has taken off, and we can even make a little money off the YouTube channel if we get more subscribers and things like that. So if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button, and we would love to have you subscribe so you can get future notifications when we go live. I think there's a little bell you can set where you get a notification when a new YouTube video goes live so you don't miss any of our shows. So we are looking forward to that. And so we appreciate it. Hey, we are broadcasting from the Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios. Hope you've tried one of their more than 30 flavors of premium pre-mixed canned cocktails. You can get them at your local grocery store or gas station. Love me some Cutwater canned cocktails. I tried the Mai Tais for the first time the other day, and I literally closed my eyes and felt like I was having a Mai Tai on the beach in Hawaii. I've yet to find one I don't like. I love the Long Island, love the margaritas, but the Mai Tais might be my favorite now. So make sure you head to your grocery store or gas station. It's a perfect thing to take to your tailgate with you on Saturday for the game. And again, we thank Cutwater Canned Cocktails for their support. Rowpaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, our title sponsor. If you're looking to get that concrete coating done on your back patio or your garage, your basement, look no further. Check them out, roepaint.com. They do outstanding work. It's 4 times stronger than epoxy, and you won't be disappointed. Lithia Ford of Boise, I'm a happy customer. Purchased my F-150 from them a couple weeks ago. I could not be happier. And you can check them out, lithiafordboise.com, to look through their inventory, and then head on over to their showroom, their store on Fairview Avenue. And even if you're not looking to buy from them, but you want to sell your vehicle, they'll make you a cash offer on the spot if you check them out there in person. Lithia Ford Boise, and we appreciate Jim Sturk and company for sponsoring us. We saw Jim down there in the Air Force Academy on the field at Falcon Stadium after the game, so appreciate him. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. We're thankful for them as well, the official bank of Bronco Nation News and the Reigns family. So check them out, ICCU.com. Once you go in there and sign up your account, you literally never have to go back to the branch. Everything can be done from your phone, and it's so easy with the eBranch and the mobile online banking. So check them out, Idaho Central Credit Union. And by the way, we're looking for 4 more. We're looking for 4 people still that want to get in the tournament, the Call of Duty tournament. If you're a Call of Duty player and you're a subscriber at Bronco Nation News, let me know, because we're looking for 4 subscribers that want to play. It's the Giving Games tournament with Boise State Esports, and Idaho Central Credit Union is a big sponsor of that as well. So Bronco Nation News is making the $1,000 donation. We're getting in, and we want to win this tournament. So I need 4 Call of Duty players that are subscribers that want to get in and play. And yes, you can play remotely. If you are not in the Boise area, you can still play remotely, and we can set it up where you can play remotely for our team, and hopefully we can win that. I do want to thank one more sponsor, Transportation Compliance Service, transcompservice.com. Whether it's that big rig on the screen or the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, they can get you out there towing that first load in no time. Trucking industry is booming right now because of the pandemic, and it's just taken off. Over 1,000 people a day are becoming truck drivers, and you can do it today. It's a very lucrative career and profession. So if you're looking for a new job or a career change, hit up transcompservice.com, and they can help you out every step of the way. And Matt Bauscher, by the way, Matt Bauscher's show is starting, I hope tomorrow. It's going to be either this week or next week. The number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley, Matt Bauscher, BauscherRealEstate.com. He is locked and loaded. He's our first advertiser that's officially agreed to a deal for year 2. And we really appreciate Matt Bauscher. So no home is too big or too small. Make sure you check out Matt Bauscher, former Boise State basketball player, now doing big things in the community next time you're looking to buy or sell your next home. Let's see. We got some comments rolling in here. We got they should give you some Cutwaters to hand out at the James. Now, they don't sell Cutwaters at the James. The James is more of their own cocktails. They do their own thing over there. So we don't have they don't sell those there. So Nate Staley's got his hand raised for the Call of Duty tournament. Send me an email, Nate. I know a couple of you already have. I don't remember if you did or not. But send me an email, Nate, and we'll get you on the list. If we get more than 4, then we may have to have a small tournament on our own to get to 4. Maybe we'll just do a drawing or take the first 4. I've had one person email me already. I don't remember if it was you, Nate. I don't think it was. But to send me an email, rains@bronconationnews.com, or hit me up on Twitter if you're interested in joining the Call of Duty tournament. It's for Bronco Nation News. We're raising money for the Idaho Food Bank. And so we're making a $1,000 donation. Would love for others to make donations to the Idaho Food Bank as well. And we would love to do that. Matt's the only sponsor to get bounced by a ref for being so passionate. Best BNN sponsor, in my opinion. Yeah, that was not a great day for me, but I guess it worked out okay to have one of my sponsors and a show host get bounced, get ejected from a game last year. But that was at least something for us to talk about, and that was a fun time. And that run, by the way, will never be topped. I mean, that 3-month run where they won the 14 straight, all the places they won, winning the Mountain West tournament, all the late shots. If you're a Boise State fan, it just doesn't get better than that. I mean, they're starting up again. They're hoping to have a great season, but I just, I don't know how they're ever going to top what happened, at least for me, starting a new business, going to all those games, seeing all those game-winning shots, all the stuff in Vegas. I mean, it was just an incredible run that probably will never be topped, but hopefully they can at least come close to matching it and win the Mountain West again and get back to the big dance this year. But that was just a magical 3 months, to be honest with you. Everything on the court and off the court as well, with my business taking off. And it's just something that I'll never forget. See some of those trips and road trips and seeing how happy the coaches and players were after some of those games, and being at every game last year during that run was pretty impressive. So we'll see what happens this year. And they had the Oregon scrimmage on Saturday. Not allowed to say much, but I have talked to some folks that witnessed it, and we can just say it was, may have been a good day for Bronco Nation or Bronco Athletics in more than just football. We'll say that and leave it at that for now. But they got the exhibition game coming up on Wednesday. And then, that's free, by the way, free exhibition game on Wednesday for all fans. If anybody wants to go, that's a free exhibition game on Wednesday of next week. I believe it is the 1st. Is that? No, that's not right. That's not a Wednesday. They got the exhibition game coming up against Carroll College. Check it out. And I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but it's free admission for all fans. So make sure you check it out. It's sometime next week. And then the season gets going for real the week after that. So, yes, they did, Kurt. I saw that, a big write-up scrimmage. They did have that. The coaches can agree to release it if they want to or not. They are allowed to talk about it if they want to. But, if a Mountain West team beats a Pac-12 team in a scrimmage, which, happens occasionally, they may not want to let that, that may not look good for the Pac-12 team if the Mountain West coach is out there talking about it. In that case, San Diego State lost but played pretty well, so they were okay talking about it because UCLA still won and San Diego State felt good about it. So just depends on the situation why stuff leaks out sometimes. But either way, we'll see in the next couple of days if Coach Rice wants to talk about it publicly or not. But I think there were some encouraging signs there for Boise State. So we'll see him at the exhibition game next week. Free admission, by the way. You just show up, and I think you get in for free for the exhibition game. We'll see what kind of crowd they get next week for that. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. Winston Venable will be here at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll have the Winston Venable show, again, 9 a.m. tomorrow. And again, if you're just joining us, Saturday, we'll have pregame. Winston Venable is going to join us at the James. We'll be live about 3:30. Come on over to the James on Wednesday or on Saturday for the pregame with Winston Venable and the postgame with Kent Riddle. We'll see if we can get Golly Guy to stop back by. Anybody else wants to come and come on postgame and give us your thoughts on the game? We'd love to have you. We love taking live feedback. So come on by to the James about 30 to 45 minutes after the game. We have to do our interviews and stuff. So come have a cocktail, relax, and then we will put you on the air if you want to, and we'll take your comments and thoughts. So if you're in the area, pregame 3:30 Saturday at the James for Winston Venable, postgame with Kent Riddle about 30 minutes after the game, and a 5 o'clock game is perfect. So we'll be on the air probably about 9 o'clock, 9:15 or so with Kent Riddle after the game. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. We got the Winston Venable show tomorrow at 9 a.m. We got BNN After Dark tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Waiting to release the guest, but I think it's going to, if it comes through as hopeful, it's going to be a pretty popular, prominent name. One of the better ones we've had, I think. So I'm looking forward to that if we can make it happen. So stay tuned for that. And I've got a story going up this afternoon on the Boise State defense also, just where they rank historically and whether or not we should be looking at this defense as an all-time great Boise State defense. That'll be going up later this afternoon at BroncoNationNews.com. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. Thanks to all of our sponsors. We're rolling here with Bronco Nation News. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Please tell your friends. We're trying to get over. I'd love to get to 2,000 by the end of basketball season, maybe even football season. We've been steadily growing, and we're up to almost 1,600 YouTube subscribers. So help us make that push towards 2,000. But let's at least go 100 at a time and get to 1,600. And it benefits you because you can know right away when we go live with all of our shows and post-game, pre-game shows, all that stuff. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. Hope you have a great day. If news breaks, we'll bring it to you. Otherwise, check the site for that story on the defense this afternoon, and then we'll talk to you in the morning with Winston Venable, 9 a.m. This has been Bronco Nation News, a presentation from RowPaint.com. Lift the Afford of Boise, Idaho Central Credit Union, the Blue and Orange Store, Transportation Compliance Service, Boise Dentistry Co., United Commercial Insurance, Ridley's Family Markets, Bauscher Real Estate, Timberstone Golf Course, all of our great sponsors. We thank them all. And if I forgot one, I apologize for you. But we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.